Did you know that 50% of personal loans in India are availed by age group of 18 to 35? That clearly implies people don't have control on their personal finances. And today we requested Ajinkya Kulkarni, who's the founder and CEO of Wint to educate Indian employees on deciding how can they create more wealth and have control on their finances. Hi Ajinkya, welcome to Pazcast podcast.
Pleasure to be here.
So Ajinkya, just wanted to start off with very basic fundamentals, right? If I am an individual, right, I can be somewhere between the age of like just starting up or like in my mid-career. But I've seen personally that there are a lot of individuals, even in their mid-career, they don't have like very good control on their finances and they haven't created good wealth. So from where should I start and why should I save to start with, right?
Yeah, that's a very good question. In fact, I get a lot of DMs on LinkedIn saying कि कौन से mutual fund में डालना है, and whenever I try to dig deep, people haven't covered basics. So everybody is too much focused on how much return you can make, but they don't focus on the basics, right? Generally speaking, saving means freedom, right? So how I look at personal finance personally is today is there, tomorrow is there, then day after tomorrow. If you are in debt, you are covering for the past, right? Now, if you don't have debt, you are sorted for today.
Correct.
But for tomorrow, you have to earn.
Yes.
So you have to first cover for tomorrow. If you have enough saving for tomorrow, you don't have to work tomorrow. Not necessarily you will not work, but you have that freedom, right? Saving and investment or personal finance is basically securing future.
Correct.
Right? And once you cover for 40, 50 years, you are sorted, right? That is what FIRE, financial independence and retire early.
Right.
So that is the basic, right? Now, how do you go about it, right? First is people don't understand fundamentally there is difference between saving and investing. So saving is not spending, very simply. If I have urge to buy a shirt and if I don't buy that shirt, I have saved that money. Investing is basically making that money work.
Right.
But it will be, if you just save 100 rupees, you will only get return on those 100 rupees. If you say 1000 rupees, you'll get return on 1000 rupees, right?
Right.
So investing will only work if your corpus is good. First starting point of personal finance is not spending. Right? Then comes investing, right? Now, and this is very crucial when you are very early in your career, or even let's say if you are not early, but when you are starting and looking at money management very seriously, right? I had one friend, my batchmate, he said, यार मैंने अभी तक तो कुछ किया ही नहीं है, अभी करूँगा तो क्या होगा, अब कितना करना चाहिए? So वो start small इसलिए important होता है because that saving is a mental habit. When you start saving 500 rupees, then it is easier to save 2000 rupees, then 5000 rupees and 10,000 rupees.
Start as soon as possible.
Yeah. Yes, start today, start saving.
Right.
And that is the first step. Second step is investing, but like it is about securing timeline. So that is the basic fundamental approach towards personal finance.
Like as an individual, right? So irrespective of my age group, I take your advice and I start saving money. So what next, right? So like for example, if I'm earning 50,000 rupees a month, right? So and I decide to like, hey, first as soon as I get my salary, I'll make sure that I park my 20,000 rupees aside and I will not use that money. And that's what saving is, right? But then what next? And what should I do as an individual as a next step?
So now you got a concept, right? कि मैं पैसा save करके उसको I'm gaining more and more freedom, right?
Correct.
Now there could be situations which actually push you back.
Right.
You lost your job.
Right.
Right? Or there is some health emergency.
Right.
Or something.
Right.
Right? So you have to first cover for those emergencies. And how do you do that? There is one framework, we call it the framework. So you should have term insurance, you should have health insurance,
yes.
And you should have emergency fund.
So just to repeat, the framework, you should have first term insurance.
Yes.
Second, you should have health insurance. And third, you should have emergency fund. That is even before you start investing in mutual funds and other products.
Yeah, even before having 1 rupee exposure in equity
wow.
as an asset class. That is most important. And like for emergency fund, like if you, like it should be generally about 6 to 12 months of your monthly expenses. If you are married and you have more people supporting, you should have probably 12 months. If you are single, you don't have any dependent, then 6 months into your monthly expenses is good. Obviously, we can go into that detail, but equity asset class is all about compounding.
Right.
It is an asset class for 10-year plus investment, right? So your job, the basic rule is you have to make sure that you don't stop that compounding or interrupt that compounding anywhere in between.
Right. So, I mean, I'll ask as a very layman, and I think it's a very usual question that comes in. Like, I think emergency fund is no brainer, right? So, we should definitely have an emergency fund, and the kind of market, I mean, market keeps on fluctuating. We had a very exciting market, and today in 2023, the market is pretty bad, especially in the IT and tech sector. But when it comes to health insurance and term insurance, so first I'll cover the term insurance, right? So when I'm young, right, I'm in my 20s, I don't have dependents, right? So people don't feel the need of having term insurance for themselves. And in fact, even when I have, when it comes to health insurance, people in their 20s don't tend to have health insurance as well because they feel nothing will happen to me. So just wanted to have your thoughts on there as well. Yeah.
Sure. So I have a kind of little unpopular view about term insurance. I think even if you're 22, you don't have any dependent, you should still take term insurance, and as high as you can get. When you, let's say you think I will take term insurance only when I will have some dependent, my wife or probably kids. By the time things change, you might have some health related problem and you are denied term insurance.
Got it.
The idea of term insurance, you are covering for a corner case, edge case, that you might die.
Right.
Right. So when you cover for a corner case, you cannot look at probability.
Right.
You have to just make sure it is controlled, right? And
Right.
to control that, you should take term insurance as soon as you can,
Right.
as soon as you afford,
Right.
and as high as you can.
Right.
So I personally made this mistake, saying when I was young, I took a term insurance, but that sum insured I thought at that time was good enough, but today it is not at all.
Because of inflation.
It is not actually the monetary inflation; it's lifestyle inflation more, right?
Right.
When I took that, I used to stay in a 1 BHK. Now
Right.
I stay in 3 BHK, right?
Right.
And now life
Lifestyle is
standard ही वो है कि अब 3 BHK में ही रहना है, right?
Correct.
So therefore, as high as possible,
Right.
as early as possible.
Right.
As early because you might get denied later. Plus premiums lock in होता है term insurance में especially,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
If you take it at 22 का age, that premium is there forever.
Forever. Yes. Yes.
Health में तो बढ़ता है.
बढ़ता है. हाँ.
हाँ. टर्म इंश्योरेंस एक तो 65 की एज, मतलब तुम्हारी जब वर्किंग एज हो तब तक ही लेनी चाहिए.
अच्छा.
लोग पैसा रिकवर करने के लिए सोचते हैं मैं 85 तक लूँगा, 95 तक लूँगा, बट यू आर डीलिंग विद समवन जहाँ 100 लोग मैथमेटिकली उसके मॉडलिंग बना रहे होते हैं, राइट?
करेक्ट.
तो आप ज़्यादा ही पे करने वाले हो. तो
Right.
लोगों को लगता है मैं 85 तक तो मर ही जाऊँगा, तो 85 तक तो लेता हूँ तो पैसा तो मिल जाएगा.
पैसा मिल जाएगा वापस.
हाँ, बट दैट्स नॉट अ गुड स्ट्रैटेजी. तो जब तक आपकी वर्किंग एज है तब तक ही लेनी चाहिए, राइट? एंड सेकेंड, टर्म इंश्योरेंस कभी भी लाइफ इंश्योरेंस जैसा नहीं लेना चाहिए.
Right.
इट शुड बी प्योर टर्म कि यू विल ओनली गेट पेड
Right.
इफ यू डाई.
Right.
उसको इन्वेस्टमेंट प्लान कभी नहीं बनाना चाहिए. दैट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इन टर्म इंश्योरेंस. सो इसलिए टर्म इंश्योरेंस जितना जल्दी हो सके
ले लीजिए.
और जितना ज़्यादा हो सके उतना ले लेना चाहिए.
So, I mean, this was about term insurance, but what about health insurance? Like, what's your take on why we should have health insurance early in our life? Yeah.
सेम, मतलब एक तो कोई डिसीज होता है, वो लेट्स से हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस जल्दी लेते हो तो इवन इफ यू आर डिटेक्टेड विद दैट डिसीज इट इज स्टिल कवर्ड अंडर एनीथिंग. दे कैन नॉट डिनाई यू दैट पॉलिसी. यू कैन कंटिन्यू विद दैट पॉलिसी.
Correct.
सेकेंड, हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस में काफ़ी वेटिंग पीरियड होते हैं.
Right.
बहुत सारे डिसीजेस में. इनफैक्ट पर्सनली जब लेते हो, ग्रुप में तो कम होंगे
Right.
CUG में, बट पर्सनली तो बहुत कुछ, किसी के लिए 2 साल होगा, 3 साल होगा, 4 साल होगा,
Right.
राइट? तो ऐसा भी होगा कि लेट से आपने 30 की एज में लिया और आपको 31 में कुछ हो गया और वो कवर्ड नहीं है. देन दैट पॉइंट अगेन यू हैव टू रिमेंबर कि हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस एंड टर्म इंश्योरेंस है ना, ये बहुत एक कॉर्नर केसेस को कवर करने के लिए ले रहे हैं. तो इसमें भयंकर प्रिवेंटिव माइंडसेट से जो कवर हो सकता है वो सब करना चाहिए.
Right. So I don't want to go very deep in why what's the difference between term and like instruments like ULIP, right, where you get money back, right, after a certain point.
नहीं, वो मनी बैक इज डोंट डू इट, वेरी क्लियर. मतलब यू शुड नॉट डू इट.
Correct.
राइट. सो ये टर्म इंश्योरेंस का है. हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस में अगेन वही वेटिंग पीरियड होता है. लेकिन सेकेंड, टर्म इंश्योरेंस का और एक इम्पॉर्टेंट, आई मीन ऑब्वियसली यू वुड नो बेटर, बट सुपर टॉप अप होनी चाहिए.
Right.
राइट. जनरली फॉर अ नॉर्मल डिसीज 5-10 लाख का कवर इज ओके.
Right.
बट हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस आप 30-40 साल कैरी करने वाले हो.
Right.
कैंसर हो सकता है, हार्ट का कुछ ये हो सकता है,
Right.
कोई बड़ा एक्सीडेंट हो सकता है, नी रिप्लेसमेंट करना पड़ सकता है. तो वो सुपर टॉप अप कवर बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. तो हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस में एक नॉर्मल कवर और उसके ऊपर सुपर टॉपअप होना बहुत ज़रूरी है.
Right. To top up, as you mentioned, it's a very, very important cover to have, and it's not very expensive because 90% of our claims that are there, right, they are less than 10 lakh rupees, right? So generally, the claim amount in India is less than 10 to 5 to 10 lakh rupees. If you have a 5 lakh cover, you are well sorted. But these top up covers, they cover you for a very huge catastrophic event, maybe like a critical illness that might come in, right, like cancer or those kind of diseases. So it's better to have top ups also. If you have, like, for example, 5 lakh worth of cover, you can actually get top up as cheap as 1000 rupees or maybe 500 rupees as well, with some waiting period, up to 20 lakhs 30 lakhs worth of cover. And again, as you said, that if you buy early, your waiting periods get covered. And I think top up is, of course, it's is as cheap as one meal of any going to any brewery or any restaurant.
Yeah, in fact, in super top up, I think the amount should be much higher, at least 50 lakh or 1 crore, because again, it's a corner case, right?
Right.
And healthcare inflation is very high.
Right.
Plus the kind of lifestyle our generation has, the
Right.
chances of we having such kind of diseases are also
Right.
kind of high, right? So 20 may not, like, and that difference is not actually much,
No.
right? So I would actually go for 50 lakh or 1 crore in super top ups.
I think Ajinkya, we spoke about I think very fundamentals, right? So I mean, I'll accept with a lot of humility, right, that I also didn't buy, even though my business is in the same space, that I also didn't buy health insurance and life insurance early in my career, right? But I think it's a pretty counterintuitive but very good insight, right, that you should buy term and health insurance early in your life.
Yeah, no, in fact, fortunately for me, I had my term insurance in like health insurance placed the day I turned 18.
Wow.
Right? And you wouldn't believe, I had 3 operations. Like, one was tonsils, there was one more where I fell off and my ACL was torn, right? By the age of 25, I had these 2-3 operations, right? All are kind of very, nothing serious. I mean, like, these were like procedural EA, but you wouldn't expect, right? And I had not expected, when I was lucky, my father had taken the insurance.
Right.
Right.